All right. We are live today on Facebook. Robin and I are here to talk about our Wellness Wednesday. Today we titled it Gut Health and Sourdough Bread. And you probably wonder what those have in common. Well, we're going to explain why we're talking about both of those today. So I'm going to start out by talking about gut health. It's one of my favorite subjects, believe it or not, even though it's not a sexy topic. It is a very important topic. Our gut is like our second brain, and what happens in our gut affects our whole body. Inflammation, how we age, diseases, chronic diseases, all that. So it's like, and if you've heard a term called leaky gut, that's kind of a newer thing with gluten and really glyphosate, which 96% of our wheat crops are sprayed with glyphosate. So it's an antibiotic. Our bodies don't know what to do with it. And so anyway, it could cause issues with our gut, meaning the leaky gut is where the membrane gets, there's like little holes. There's a screen between our digestive system and our blood. And when large particles, the screen gets holes in it and large particles get out in our blood system, and it's not good. So we want to avoid that as much as possible. So our microbiome has trillions of bacteria in it. And there's good bacteria, there's bad bacteria. We have both. We always have both. But we want to keep think about your gut as an army. You want to keep the good bacteria healthy. So you want to feed them the best nutrition fuel as possible. And that means whole foods. That means reducing the ultra processed foods. And the biggest things that cause issues in our gut are glyphosate, seed oils, artificial sweeteners, and alcohol. And sugar is not great either. The bad gut bugs love sugar. So I'm not going to go into depth on all this, trying to give you an overview because we've talked about gut health before, but I just want you to kind of rethink, like, what am I feeding my gut? How is my body reacting? If you have issues going on, largely could be your gut. Your gut ain't happy. So we want a happy gut. And so I think thinking of your gut as like I said, your second brain is key, and just taking care of it, like taking care of your body is key to healthy aging. And their studies show that as we get older, we don't have as much diversity in our gut. So we got to really make sure we're eating a wide variety of foods. And when I talk about that, that means whole foods, not junk food. But yeah, and so anyway, that can lead to frailty and physical issues as well. So anyway, that's kind of a very simplified overview of gut health and why it's important. And so I'm going to turn it over to Robin, who's going to talk about sourdough bread, and she's actually got some props. So we're excited about that.
Yes, I do. So with going along with what Kim said too, look up, like just Google foods that are good for gut health. And then Google things that are not good for gut health. And then go ahead and do a little test yourself.
Yeah.
Eat something that says it's not good for gut health. Eat it one day and see how you feel the next day.
Yeah.
And then eat things on the list that say it is good for gut health and see how you feel that next day. I'm telling you, it makes a difference. Like, I never thought about it that way. And I was always just like, well, I'm eating this, that, and the other. And okay, it didn't agree with me, but guess what? It didn't agree with you because of your gut, right? And you're messing it up, and you can mess it up long term, and you can mess up other things too. So yes, I do have props today. I took a sourdough bread workshop day before yesterday, and I got sourdough starter that is 150 years old.
Wow.
Okay, so this was from a gal that I know, and she's the one who did the little workshop. She got it at a training that she had gone to for her business. And there was an Amish lady there, and this Amish lady had this 150-year-old sourdough starter. So I've added to it twice. I know I look like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. So I'm learning as I go. I did bake my bread. And so here we did eat some of it, but here is my bread. And for those of you who are sourdough experts, I'm sure you could look at this and say, ooh, that's what she's doing wrong. It's okay. It tastes okay. I do think it could taste a little bit better. The tang in it is really good. So I was really happy about that because I like a nice tangy sourdough bread. And the tangier it is, the better it is for
Yeah.
your gut. So I'm going to read off to you why we decided to do sourdough. It's because April 1st was sourdough bread day. It was like a celebration. And it came from the French, of course, oui, oui, the French bakers. They brought it to North America and they brought it to the California coast. So if y'all have ever been to San Francisco, you know about the sourdough bread. Like they have amazing sourdough bread there. And this was like during the gold rush. So this is how old this sourdough has been around, which I think we all knew. That was like the 1800s.
Yeah.
And the difference with this bread, and Kim was just talking about processed foods, most other breads are taken through a food processing system, right? Where sourdough bread is fermented, and it's fermented, you know, from yeast. So it's doing this. So it is real food. And that's why it is healthy. That healthy fermentation is left in here, where the other breads, they may be fermented, but it's taken out in the processing part of it. So that's why you want to go with the sour. Now, when you do the sourdough, I will also say not all sourdoughs are good. So if you go to the grocery store, I'm sorry, and you're going to see a sourdough bread in a package and you're going to read ingredients on it. And if it's not baked fresh in their bakery, chances are it wasn't done from yeast. It was taken through a process. So you have to be careful with that too. It's best to make your own, right? Or to know where it's getting made from, like a bakery. All right, so I want to tell you about the benefits of the sourdough. The phytase enzymes, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, it's phytase, phytase
Yep.
enzymes released by the yeasts as the dough acidifies effectively pre-digest the flour, which releases the micronutrients and in turn reduces bloating and digestive discomfort. So that sells me in a minute because I have bloating. Like it's just how I am. I'm so evidently I've got some things in my gut that aren't just right. So when I read that, I'm like, give me all the sourdough to help that. It takes longer to digest, which in turn helps regulate blood sugar. So I really like that too, because, you know, Kim and I have talked about the blood sugar, you know, and it can make or break you having high blood sugar or low, or eating low glycemic foods. So that's what you want to do. It's a prebiotic. It improves the diversity of gut bacteria, which leads to improved immune function. It can help increase fiber intake by 10 to 15%. And Kim and I have talked about fiber. We just had that talk. 25% is what we need to get. And how many is it, Kim,
25
did we say
grams.
that 25 grams?
Yeah.
But what is the percentage that we said the Americans aren't getting? It was like a
Oh my
huge,
gosh.
like 85% or 90 or
Most
something.
Americans are getting only 14 grams of fiber a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is a plus as well. The ratio of soluble and insoluble fiber can be manifested, or I'm sorry, yeah, depending on how long you ferment the dough. So when I did this recipe, it said you could go 12 to 24 hours. And what it said was the longer you let it go, closer to the 24, the tangier it's going to get. So to me, that's the fermentation, and that's what you want to do for, you know, your best gut health. It can help with, and these things, we all need it, but we don't like to talk about it. It can help with IBS, constipation, and other large intestine diseases. So, and also bowel cancer.
Wow.
It has vitamins and nutrients, and this is going to be the last thing I'm going to tell you about it, but it's important. So here are the vitamins and nutrients: iron, manganese, calcium, B1, B6, B12, folate, zinc, potassium, thiamine, niacin, riboflavin, selenium, magnesium, yes, selenium, magnesium, phosphorus, and vitamin E.
Wow.
That is a ton. So I say celebrate sourdough, get with someone who knows how to do it. And I even have a friend in my neighborhood. I borrowed her. I had no idea you bake this in a cast iron Dutch oven. I had
Ah,
no idea that's how you baked sourdough bread.
right.
So I didn't have a cast iron. That's the only appliance that I think in my kitchen I don't have. So I borrowed hers yesterday, and that's what I baked it in. And then she sent me some videos that her sister had sent her on the steps as to how to do it, because you have to do this
Oh,
folding and whatever.
yeah,
So that was really informative. So I just purchased my own little cast iron Dutch oven, and I'm
cute.
excited to use it
Yeah.
with my new fermented starter. My mother, and you're supposed to name your starter too. My starter's name is Eleanor. So that was my grandma.
Oh,
So
I love it. I love that. And
so anyway, this is kind of fun, and it's getting back to basics. I mean, and that is what good health is, and good nutrition is getting back. Kim
yeah,
and I talked about it before. If we've gotten so far away from it, with the processed foods. So
yeah.
I definitely is excited to celebrate sourdough bread day.
I love that too, because we just had sourdough at a restaurant. We were at a restaurant and had sourdough bread. Oh my gosh, it was delicious.
Yeah,
So good. And it's gluten free, which
right.
gluten, no glyphosate. So it's a good alternative to bread if you haven't discovered it yet. So I feel like it's about discovering new things and seeing what works for us. So yeah, anything else you want to add, Robin?
Nope. I think I think
Okay.
it's good.
Oh,
I got
can
to
I
figure out
mention?
how to turn us off of here though. I'm
Oh,
trying to figure out how to,
I wanted to mention
I
one
don't know,
thing.
figure
Um,
it out.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention is that I'm actually running a free walking challenge. If anybody wants to do
Oh,
that for next week, it's just send me a DM, or you can join my private Facebook group called How to Age Smarter. And it's just a 7-day, get you walking, get you moving, get you tweaking your walking if you're already walking, and just to get more movement in your day. So that's about that. But we hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I know I called it Wellness Wednesday, and we're on Thursday, so we're thinking
oh
on
yeah,
it. So I forgot about that. We couldn't meet
that's
yesterday,
okay.
but that's all right. But we just want you to have fun and live young and take care of your gut. That's what we do.
Yep.
So,
We'll see you next week.
all right, bye-bye.